In the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. Boy, do we have an episode for you today. It's going to be so much fun, but we are continuing, of course, our series of reviewing the Playmates 2022 line. And we also have some more information from Playmates about the plans in the future and addressing some of our thoughts about this already from our friends at Trek Perspective. And I don't know if they're friends. I just found the interview, so I'm going to just show you some of it. But I feel like we would be friends, right? But more importantly, we have finally received our reviewer copies from Playmates. Just yesterday showed up on my doorstep, a big old box from Playmates. So we are going to be able to and will review every single product they have put out in Series 1 in 2022. And today we have the big dog. We have the big one. So today we are officially reviewing the Enterprise.
Wow.
The mothership of them all. Here it is in box. It has never been opened. Now, this is not one of those that's never been opened since, the 90s. This has never been opened from 2022, but here we have it in hand. We are going to open this box. We are going to do a full review of all of it, comparing and contrasting it with the original ship. But before we do that, Mike, I think it is time to hear from Playmates themselves via this interview with Trek Perspective that they did with the VP of Marketing, John Stelzner, at Playmates. And first off, asking a question about some of the new technology they're using to create these figures. There's lots of new sculpting and articulation. And so John said Varner Studios is now incorporating the latest digital sculpting technology, which we didn't have in the 90s. So it's less hand sculpting than it used to be. We are also working with a very talented painter on our paint masters and paint specs to utilize the most advanced UV figure painting technology in manufacturing. So the painting is being done with ultraviolet light. No idea how, because I'm old, but that's so cool.
Does any of our, we have a great staff of custom makers that follow the channel.
Staff? They're not on staff.
No, not at all. In fact, we're lucky to have them. But if you could explain to us the UV painting process, feel free to leave a comment below.
Yeah, fascinating. He continues, that allows us to really capture a more realistic, lifelike look, especially on the figures' heads. So the next question, as mentioned, the original line ran for 7 years and 350 plus figures. Are you hoping to beat that with the new line? And the answer was, as Star Trek fans ourselves, we certainly hope we can continue the line for 7 more years, like they did back in the day. Given all the classic and new characters, we could easily beat 350 figures. Are you kidding me?
My wallet says, please no.
No, but I mean, come on. If they do 350 figures, every single one of our wish list could get filled out.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Because assuming that they're going to redo most of the basics, but a lot of the, I don't know if we need another Tosk, but you might, I'll trade a Tosk for a Martok. You know what I mean? Like that's very exciting. Next question. The line has so far been broken up into a separate series, TNG animated movie series and Star Trek universe. Was this always the intention as opposed to having one overreaching line just called Star Trek Universe? And he says, for now, we want each classic segment to live in its own retro branding. Really, it just makes each collection that much more special, especially those that remember our line from the 90s. For the new shows, we will package them in brand new Star Trek universe packaging look. So it looks like they're going to stick with the retro packaging for Next Gen and the original series. And maybe if we start getting DS9 and Voyager figures, they will stay in the retro line with the packaging. So, like, cool. Why not, right?
Right.
So the next question, was staying with a similar scale to the original toys always the plan, or were there any discussions to go in a brand new version from scratch, 6 inches, highly detailed for collectors, and more of a in the vein of the Star Wars Black Series? To which the answer was, we felt the 5-inch was the best scale for this core line. It is very similar to our original scale back in the 90s, which varied between 4.5 and 5 inches. The core of the line will always be 5 inches. But as this line grows, there may be opportunity for a different scale depending on what we want to do with the brand and what fans are asking for. The 5-inch scale also gives us the best opportunity to have them work with future vehicles and playsets. Great. Stay with this size. It does fit pretty well with the original line. I think that's exactly right. Next question. With the original license held by Playmates, the scale alternated between 4.5, 6, and 9. Will this time around remain in a standard scale across the entire line where figures in scale with each other? So similar question.
Mm-hmm.
For now, we will stay focused on the 5-inch scale for the best collectible value. There could be opportunities in the future for a larger scale that has also has some other definable feature, but right now we want to stay focused. Basically the same answer. This one's cool. Once the line becomes more established, how many waves are you hoping to release each year? And he says 2 to 3 waves of figures are planned for any given year.
Wow.
I think fans will be excited for our next wave of figures, which will be launched in the spring. So coming up soon. So 2 to 3 waves each year. I mean, they're going to start pumping these things out, which I'm hoping that means that this is going well for them because they're already planning well into the future with their next waves. So, yeah, great. Bring it. That sounds very expensive, but I'm excited about it. Question, how deep are you looking at getting with ships and props? Ships, and he says, ships and other vehicles will be a large part of our Star Trek offering. It is important, too, that we not only get the model right, but incorporate authentic lights and sounds. We are looking at other classic and new ships to add to our line as we speak. In the Star Trek universe, ships are so important that they really are like other characters, so they will always be important to us and to fans. So that's cool because, A, it looks like they're going to, remake some of the original ships that they've done before, which we'll be looking at today, but also new ships. So will we get our fabled Enterprise C, which I would love to have? It feels like that's probably going to be later on the line because they've got a lot of ships to get to. But something like that would be very exciting. And he says, what other props are possibly in the pipeline? It says there are also key iconic weapons and other accessories that we plan to develop, phasers, communicators, tricorders, etc. It's also great that a phaser, for example, looks completely different from show to show. So it looks like we will be able to fill out our arsenal moving forward and have our various tricorders. Super cool. And they asked about exclusives. Are they going to do any more exclusives like they did back in the day, or are you going to focus on sort of figures for everybody? And the answer is figures for everyone. Unlikely we will do any mail-in or online exclusives. Retail exclusives, however, could be a possibility. So the collector in me is like, oh man, there's not going to be the rare figures, but also the collector in me is like, I don't have to pay $400 for a figure. So there's the pros and cons there. Dioramas or playsets, environments, are they on the table? Well, when we first started developing the line, we took a serious look at interactive playsets. The ship bridges are a natural direction to go. we decided that it was best to stay very focused for our launch with figures, ship, and roleplay. But as the brand grows, we will certainly look at adding playsets in the future. So great. That's going to be fun. We've had a lot of requests to put these new figures onto our Enterprise D bridge. We are 100% going to do an episode with that, especially once we review and open up the rest of our next gen figures so we can get them, let them play around a little bit. But yes, we will definitely throw them on the bridge and show you just how cool the new articulation is and what it allows you to actually sit naturally on the bridge and not be man-spreading everywhere you go. So the last question, I think, is very pertinent to those of us reviewing the new lines and our number one complaint.
Okay.
And that is, there have been a lot of comments from fans of the original line, having now found that some of the new figures in stores in regards to the legal wording across the back of the figure's torso and the negative reaction to it. Is this something that can be adapted with future figures, or is that positioning now standard on all future releases?
This is big.
And it's a big question. And the answer is, we try to keep the legal lines as inconspicuous as possible on all of our figures. Fail. But since all the necessary legal has gotten longer and a little bit larger in font size, the bottom of the foot no longer works. So it seems like they're a little bit, they have their hands tied because, you know, the actual verbiage, the number of words they have to put there legally are longer. And I'm taking from that the font size is also legally determined so that they are not able to diminish the font size. So it sounds like there's not going to be a great solution to that. Maybe they can put them on the leg or something, but I think we're probably going to be stuck with that just because of legal copyright issues. Can't really get around it. So that is what we have heard from the Vice President of Marketing, John Stelzner, liberally stolen from an interview you can find on Trek Perspective. On Facebook. I will put a link to that in the description below so you can read the entire excellent interview from Trek Perspective. So now, Mike, I see you're not there yet, but I imagine Mike Box is probably right here. What's up, Mike Box? Are you ready to go and start looking at, instead of the virtual box, the literal box? Straight from Playmates, here the classic Trek Enterprise. Now,
I am. I'm excited to see how big it is. I'm excited to see how much assembly is required. All the bleeps and bloops, the blasters. I want to see it all.
We're gonna do it all, but before we do, I feel it's only responsible to say that yes, this was supplied by Playmates as a reviewer copy. We did not pay for this. Playmates sent it to us. However, they've made absolutely no request or implied anything about our opinions here, so the opinions are entirely our own and have not been, there's no quid pro quo. Absolutely, they have asked for nothing in terms of our opinions about it. So, but in full disclosure, we did not pay for this one. So, so the Kirk that I have to think about Playmates' opinions, but Mike's opinion on his Kirk are his own because he paid the $12.99.
I did. I also received a couple of different ones today, Keith. I don't know if I told you. I've gotten a little bit of the sticky finger itch. So I've been getting, and you know what I discovered, and I'm sure you know this from your years of collecting. You know, I'd made mention on the Saru review that it was kind of wobbly on the stand a little bit. I have found that simply turning the little communicator device sideways as a stand, horizontally.
Oh, yes.
Completely changes the balance.
Which has always been a thing about the stands. Like, the stands are determined by the shape of the communicator. But even back in the original 90s line, you had to sort of turn them sideways to get both feet on them.
Yeah.
There's sort of no way to fix that unless you put the the little nub you put in the foot on the side of the communicator as opposed to in the center, which I would have done. I think that would have solved it. But
well, get yourself a 3D printer, Keith, and you could start hammering those out on Etsy. Change your whole life, buddy.
I'm not a doer. I'm a complainer on the internet.
Yeah, that seems to be both of our problems.
Somebody else is going to do it.
That's why we talk on the internet.
That is why we talk. All right. So, what do you say we start looking at the box in our very own toy cam?
Yeah.
Here we go. And for those of you who hated my previous toy cam, I did too. We have a new one. Boo! Here we go. New toy cam. New toy cam. So here it is. It's definitely better. So yeah. So here it is. This is the original. It's very similar to the original box. But before I show you the original box and we do our pros and cons, I don't think I can prevent myself.
Yeah, we have to hear it.
Present here and trying me. So I'm going to put the mic over. Here we go. Yes, scanning. Excellent.
Photon torpedoes, fire.
Ooh, we got some
licensed
Shatner.
Licensed
We got
sounds.
some literal Shatner.
All maneuvers.
Oh, wait, if you press it again, it's different.
Security alert to all decks. Armed photon torpedoes.
Oh, that's cool.
Very cool.
So if you keep pressing the same button, it cycles through other sounds. I think that's new. Okay, good phasers. Look at that. We have photons and phasers. Oh, there's red alert. Wow. Okay, so I don't have the original one, but if that, I would imagine that that's new, right? The multiple sound effects per each button cycling through. That's really cool. I like that. I like that very much. All right. So let's go back to the box here. Now I'm going to show you the original box, and it's going to be very similar, almost identical to the original box. Let me just shrink this down. Oh, that's not the right box. All right, so here we go. So it is the same painting, same graphics. It doesn't look like they had to move anything in order to make all the graphics work. We still have our multiple light up FX, ship and battle sounds, FX, iconic captain command phrases. Did they have iconic captain command phrases? I think that, yeah, they did.
Yeah, that, I mean,
You know what?
multiple wave files was not a magical technology in 90 whatever.
In 94. 94 is where this came out. Well, and see, this is where these ships are so much better than the Series 1 ships, because it comes with a stand, which is not true of the Enterprise
cool.
D
That's very cool.
and the Warbird and the Klingon attack cruiser. So, Playmates, if you're listening, when you come out and redo the first line ships, we don't like change, we don't like anything to be different, but by all means, put a stand in.
Yeah.
For your Enterprise D, even though you didn't have it originally. That will be a way that you can immeasurably improve the ship with literally very small change. Because I think you developed a stand for them later for other releases. Just tuck that one in with your classic D. Because I might get a couple of those so I can stand up my other ones. So, yeah, the box looks almost identical to the original one. They don't have the warning about the choking hazards. So there you go. So let's look at the back here and compare and contrast the back from back in the day. Again, very, very similar. You have pretty much, these are all the same angles as the original graphics there, but they're different pictures.
It looks like we might have got a cheapy stand again, though. Oh, no, that stand on the old box is not real.
Well, no, the old box, it did come with a stand.
Okay.
But you can see here, our new stand is now adjustable.
Okay, but
whereas
it's not
the
painted.
the old stand was painted. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see if it seems like that's not going to be painted. But it will be adjustable. So, you give a little, you take a little.
Okay, they show us the red lights on the old box, but there's yellow lights in the new
gold.
box. Yeah.
Right. So that's interesting. We have our Q code on the new box as opposed to the standard Playmates logo. And now it is everybody's favorite time to let's proofread the description of the ship.
Can we find another bad one?
Because that's always what happens. Let's see. Starfleet database, search mode, historical data file 5922J, parameter, original USS Enterprise. Overview. The classic Enterprise bore the Starfleet registry number NCC 1701. The Constitution-class starship was first launched on its maiden voyage from San Francisco yards in 2245. From 2245 to 2264, the Enterprise had been commanded by 2 captains and served the Federation superbly for 14 years. The helm was then given to Captain James T. Kirk, and the Enterprise NCC 1701 went on to gain legendary status under his expert command. No reference to Pike, which I feel like this is probably the same language as the original one, but I think it's interesting they didn't retroactively change that a little bit. Shortly after completing the 5-year mission under Captain Kirk, the Enterprise underwent a complete overhaul to upgrade all of its major systems. There it is, folks.
You found it? Oh yeah, get us in.
God.
Get us in.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. So, look for all of your major systems.
Wow, that's 2. So we found one on both of them were the the Enterprise here, and then the the phaser.
It was the phaser. Guys, I mean, I am not Captain Proofreading. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, listen, Playmates, Keith and Mike both have jobs, but happy to change careers. If you'd like a full-time social media team and or just spell checkers, I don't know that you can meet our salary requirements, but we could have a chat. Give us a
we can put
email.
the little red squiggle under stuff.
Yeah.
Just go in there with a marker. Interesting. Okay. So yeah. So we found our typo.
Huzzah!
That's our thing. Woohoo! Gotcha. Requires 3 AA batteries.
Included,
which is great. Obviously they work. So yeah. So there it is. That is the box. I think perhaps it is time to crack her open.
Yep.
Are you ready, Mike?
Let's do it. I'm ready.
Okay. I'm excited. All right. So we have 2 pieces of tape here, which I did not cut through ahead of time. So using my collector's edition ballpoint pen to cut the tape. All right. Let us open this.
You know, fans
sure
of Look at Mike's Star Trek Toys are wondering where Keith's knife is.
Yeah.
We all need a collector knife, you know?
We do. Okay. So interesting. Right from the very start, gotta go to Toy Cam. Here we go.
Keith's work phone blows up while he's doing other
Keith's
work.
phone. I'm ignoring my job.
It looks like we are fully assembled. Or mostly.
Yeah, well, or very close to fully assembled. But we see a plastic inside where all of the 90s ones had cardboard holding it.
So we've gotten worse for the environment as we've gone.
Worse for the environment, although I'm assuming it can be recycled, but clearly worse than cardboard. All right, so it's upside down. Let's pull her out. Wow. There she is. I'm going to set aside the box.
You know what? I like the clear stand on first look because it makes me realize that out of sight, out of mind. We want it to look like the ship's flying. I
think it didn't look like it was clear on the box. It looked like it was going to be white. But clear, I can get behind that. I can totally get behind. I don't think that's, I think some people might like it better. Some people might like the painted one better, but I don't think it's a downgrade. So I think that's cool. So we have an instruction. We have instructions here.
I've seen enough.
It has an on, off, and demo. Yeah, instructions are boring. Screw instructions.
Now, do these have the child-proof lock tampers in, or no? We can just pull this out.
Well, we're gonna find out, right? This is okay. There is one of our Mike. Do you know what this is called?
I did. Does it start with an ST?
It certainly does not.
No. Okay. I thought I did.
It is a warp nacelle.
Yep. Did not know.
We're going to pull out the warp nacelles. And then I'm going to get the stand out, which is, for some reason, the stand has a seat belt, but the ship does not.
Keith, it looks so good, one could say it nacelles itself.
Okay, this has been Keith and Mike. Watch. Oh, wait, no, that's the wrong, not even the right show. Okay, so we got part 1 of the stand out. Oh, God, here comes the quark. All right, so stand here fits into itself like so. Cool, great. And then you can, I'm assuming, adjust it. Yep. Cool. All right. That's a great start. I like that. Let's take out the body here. Now, how are you? Are you just tucked in like the nacelles? I think so. That's probably sounded horrible in your ears.
Before you hook on the nacelles, can we test your macro lens on there and just see some of that details?
Yeah. So there's where your batteries go, obviously. You have your switch there, on, off, and demo. So it was obviously on demo. So I'm going to turn it to on. Oh, look at that shit. It lights up.
You know, I will say, if you flip to the other side again, there still is a hefty usage of screws. I feel like they could have done that with maybe less screws. Once again, we felt the same way with the phaser, but we'll come back to that when we critique.
I believe one of the comments was at least the amount of screws didn't change as much between the original one and the one that you have as we thought. That the picture on the box was actually a prototype that had fewer screws.
Right.
So we were screwed all the way back in the 90s, not just now. So this is interesting. This actually has a fair amount of heft to it.
No, that's good to know.
It's way heavier than I thought it was going to be, and it's heavier than the other models from the 90s line.
Okay.
All right, so up here you can see we have our little metal pieces to complete the circuit and power the nacelles. So that's cool. So let me see if I can get this in here without breaking it like a dummy by putting it perhaps in the right size. Wait, why am I? Okay, there we go. I was right the first time. So, okay, yep. So it clicks in like so. And we'll do the other one.
It feels like a good size too.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great size. I think this is like, all of the ships are not in scale with each other, but they're all roughly the same size, which sounds like it's a contradiction, but the ships in real life are much bigger and smaller than each other. But for the models, they're all roughly the same size as each other. So here we go. We can do we kind of have our space flyby here against the black. So that's cool. And we'll do coming in ahead. Oh, like the classic flyby. There it is. Mike's not even appreciating how awesome my flybys are.
It's very cool.
So that's great. That's cool. And like this part of it is, for me, when I was a kid, the really fun part, because when you're dealing with a model like this, you can actually play with it and make it look like it did on screen. So you can do the flyby, you can have it turn around, flip, you can see all the other angles of it. Like that's
what's
really
on the underside
fun
there?
part.
Is that a light, a blinky blink light?
What here?
Yeah.
Yes it is. Let's blinky blink it. So it turns on when you hit the lights there, and you can see the nacelles themselves also light up. So let's see if I can.
Yeah, we got to get the connectors a little bit.
I don't think I had the connection fully. Yeah, man. It's a little bit.
Uh-oh.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, there we go. So, actually, let me switch to my other camera. Maybe I'll be able to see it a little bit better. So, yeah, see, there you go. So you can see
Photon torpedoes, fire.
that they, oops, let me angle it. There you go. So you can light it up. So you have lights here, and you have lights on the sides here.
There should be light in the front too, right?
No, this doesn't light up.
Okay.
But the top lights up. So you've got a light on the top. This is where the bridge is, and the light bulb. The deflector dish doesn't light up because it didn't do that on the original series either.
So riddle me this as a Keith, and then I want to pitch this to our audience as well. Not important to whether it had it originally or not. I know they're trying to stay faithful, but I'm just curious because in some of the other assemblies.
Woo!
That was awesome. In some of the other assemblies we've done, I've noticed that there was a lot of decals and stickers you had to do. As a kid, I liked that. So my question is, this clearly comes pre-decaled. Do you prefer that as a collector, or would you rather be able to put them on yourself?
Oh, you know my answer. Don't make me do stickers. It's like homework, and then I suck at it, and then it looks bad.
Okay.
But these actually are decals. They actually are stickers, and it's not painted. It is actual decals. With the exception of the registry, this is painted, but the stripes on the side are actual decals.
And where's the legalese on this ship?
Oh, good question. Oh, weird. I was playing with the shuttle bay, and it moves a little bit. The shuttle bay doors open a little bit. Interesting. All right, so let's discover our legalese, shall we? Let's go back to our toy cam. Let's find out where it is. Okay, so we have our, don't throw it out.
Mm-hmm.
You have batteries in it there. And actually all the legalese is right here, hidden on the back there. On the back.
It's sort of like reverse embossed, which is one way to do it.
Yeah, I had to look for it. I had to put some effort into finding that. That's tiny. But I imagine that's probably the same font size as on the figures, but you have just a ton more space to do it on. Let's see these lights from here. That's fun.
Very cool.
That's fun. And you've got, oh, wait, I missed these. Those are the back of the of the warp drive also lights up.
Even the Enterprise has to back up sometimes, you know.
You don't want to back into a Romulan warbird. That's bad news. Yeah. All right. So let's
get it on the shelf. Yeah.
So, here I'll show you. It goes in here.
Mm-hmm.
Let me try to get this in right. Okay, great. And then it's able to rotate.
Oh, rad.
Rotate a little bit on the ship itself, and go up, go down.
You got to go to your right there.
Okay, hold on. There we go. Yeah.
In fact,
so
Keith, if you go ahead and do this for me. Put the ship on the far bottom right of your desk.
Oh yeah,
because with your keying, it's gonna, that's cool.
See, here we are. We're literally flying through space.
That's really cool. I don't know why I find that so amazing.
That's so cool, though. I mean, yeah. If I could just key myself out.
I think maybe I'll try to do that in post just for fun. So what I'd like you to do is go as far right with your hand as you can. Put it on the stand. I think I can key that out better.
Okay, all right.
Or mask it out, rotoscope it. I mean, I'm not going to do any of this, but still. Now pick it up and have it fly across the screen.
See? I mean, come on, look at that. That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so we can do a full pass from the distance. Except it's flying up. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's cool as shit. I gotta say, that's sorry for swearing if there are any kids watching, but that's
rad.
That's you know what, I think it's fantastic. This is my favorite thing that they put out this line. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty partial to my first figure because he was my first. It was my first.
It's your
turret,
first.
but it's pretty rad. I kind of want.
Of course.
And
But,
what are the other ships that come in this line?
This is the only one.
Okay, so we have the ship, we have the phaser, and what? Any other models or anything, or it's just the ship and the phaser?
Nope, that's it. Just the ship and the phaser for this line. But clearly, there's more coming.
Is this out in stores yet?
I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else have it in their hands yet. So I'm assuming it's well on its way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if they're quite
What's
stocked
that retail for? Because Mike kind of wants that. I really want I want a Deep Space Nine too, but that's asking a lot.
Well, it's
station.
coming. It exists. I mean, it definitely exists. So I think you can make it happen. But yeah, I mean, I forgot about that. I had the space behind me and the keyed out. That looks so cool.
Very cool.
So if we get in, yeah, we get big with it right here. Get out of the frame, Keith. Yeah. I mean, come on. So yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I think this is excellent. I think it looks great. It feels weighty in your hands,
right?
Which I really like. The stand is a little light, it might be a little flimsy. It would be tough, like if I were a kid and I were using the stand a lot every day. I think it would break down. But for my purposes, to just go on the shelf with the menagerie of other ships, it's perfect. It's exactly what I want it to be. I can put it at different levels, because I think that's an underestimated part of this adjustable stand here. Because if you have a bunch of ships, you only have so much shelf space. You're going to want to put them at various levels.
All right. So here's the original.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very similar.
Yeah, the stand is a little different. But other than that, I can't really see much.
Other
of a
than that,
difference.
I think it's pretty close.
Yep.
I think it's very. I don't. I'd be curious about the lights and sounds. But no, I think these lights and sounds are excellent.
Yeah, really dig it.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, as it's time for us to give the review and give our thumbs up, thumbs down, I'm giving this an enthusiastic thumbs up.
Yeah, I think I have to agree. Full-sized thumbs. I'm in. Keith likes it. I like it. I want one. I guess there it is. That's really the long and short of it, right?
Well, and now I want my Enterprise D. I want my Defiant. I want my Voyager. I want my Deep Space Nine. I want my Borg Cube. I want my Enterprise C. I want my Enterprise F or E. That is.
So Keith, what's the deal? Like, what do you have to box this back up and ship it back, or is this a keeper?
Oh, this lives with me now. It followed me home. I'm gonna keep it.
All right.
You're seeing. What are you seeing on Mike's face? Envy.
That's not a green screen behind me. That's just my pure rage and jealousy.
He's radiating green. Wow. So there you go, folks. If you would like to support our show, you can do so at patreon.com/K&M, spell out that and you can find bonus episodes. You can watch Mike watch Deep Space Nine. We just reviewed the first episode of the animated series, so that was super fun.
Yeah,
we will be getting back to. So there's lots of other fun stuff going on out there. So check it out. Patreon.com/K&M. We'll be back next week with another one of our figure reviews. We now are ready to start pumping out those figures so everybody can see them. I would like to thank Playmates for sending out reviewer copies. These are our opinions. I don't like this because they sent it to me. I like it because I like it. And we will continue to be honest about all of our feelings, all the stuff moving forward. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. We will see you back next week. Check out our Deep Space Nine show, and we'll see you back later. Till then, this has been...
Look at my Star Trek toy!